Hello there, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great start to the week. I am having a pretty good one, actually. It was a quiet enough day of work. I was pretty productive. Quiet because our North American colleagues are off on holiday. Hope you all had a great Labor Day. If you get that as a holiday or celebrate or whatever the fuck you do. I don't know what you do on Labor Day. Do you just fuck about? I don't know. Anyway. Speaking of fucking about, that's a segue. Today we're going to be talking about ranked. How to fix it, what I think's wrong with it. These are things that I've been thinking about lately. I don't know. I feel like there are some glaring problems with ranked. There are some pretty bad things about it that are like not too difficult to fix, I hope. Probably take a decent bit of dev time, really. But they're not impossible, you know. They're not huge asks, I don't think. They're not things that will take away more value than they'll gain in terms of programming time, in my opinion. And I think they would be really good for the scene and really good for Smite in general. And they would add, you know, intrigue. And you know, I'll talk about them. Go through what I think the problems are, first of all. So we're going to disagree on what the problems are. I'm sure some of you are going to be like, the problems are that punishments aren't severe enough for people feeding in my games, or punishments aren't severe enough for people BMing my games, or punishments. I don't really have that much of a problem with punishments. There's certain players in EU rank that I think should be fucking perm banned because I hate them, but hate is a strong word. I think they're wastes of oxygen. But whether I think that's a problem with ranked or maybe a problem with me, who knows? Probably the latter. I think these are my four biggest problems I have with ranked. Let's go with them. I think that towards the upper end, there is a low ceiling on MMR that is too easy to reach. That's my first one. I think that the player base is small. I think that there's a lack of engagement and reward for performing well or for competing in it. And I don't think there's a clear place or time for like really high quality games to happen. So yeah, let's, I guess, go through them. My first one, low ceiling. I think the answer here is to remove the MMR cap and allow people to compete to try and get the highest possible MMR. You know, I think like it's a glaring issue for me. eChrome has 4 accounts at cap, I believe. 4 capped accounts. There's other people with multiple. And all these people, you know, they get their account to cap and then they have nothing left to play for. All they get is like games that are stacked against them and they have to try hard, really hard to win. And they have nothing to gain. They can only lose. And then what they do is they play on a Smurf and they ruin matchmaking for people at a lower level because they have nothing left to do on their account, which is at their actual rank, which is capped. Yeah, I just think people should be allowed to compete for like highest MMR, no cap. My suggestion would be just to treat everybody, in terms of like the matchmaking algorithm, just treat everybody above 3.5k MMR as if they had 3.5k in terms of both matchmaking and like elo gain calculation purposes. I can't imagine that that's too technically challenging. If you don't know, I am also a software engineer with how many, when did I graduate? I've got 6 years of experience, I guess, as an engineer. So, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I can at least talk like I do. So it doesn't seem like it would be too technically challenging to me to implement that. And I think it would add so much. I think it would be great for like streams, like you could see people compete for an MMR cap towards the end of a season or whatever. I think that'd be super, or an MMR, like the highest MMR towards the end of the season. I think it'd be super sick without ruining matchmaking, and it would make things, you know, better for those people that get absolutely shit stomped by eChrome as he goes from 1500 MMR to 35 MMR on 3 extra accounts that he doesn't need to, you know? I think that, yeah. I don't think it's fair on anybody, that situation. So I think removing the MMR cap is definitely something I think should happen. I think like grindiness and things like that, I don't know if I'm keen to increase how grindy It is just for the regular players, but I think for the top players, they should have something to play for. People who do this as their job, you know, they're playing like people like Nika or whatever who are playing the game all the time. You know, Ven, Laspra, they're all streaming, playing competitively. So, you know, fuck any pro player that streams, right? They slam ranked queues non-stop, and they should have something to compete for, something to bring some intrigue in there. And I also would encourage people at the top levels to like try harder, I think, which would be good. Good for the scene. Second issue that I have is that there's a small player base for ranked, and I think you're not gonna like it, some of you, but the solution to that is crossplay. Crossplay, I think, needs to happen for us to have a more healthy player base for ranked. More people available for matchmaking means that matchmaking is better for everyone. You know, console players will rank at a place which is according to their skill and ability, the same way that you rank at a place according to your skill and ability. If they're better than PC players, they'll rank above them. If they're worse, they'll rank below them. You know, there will be a level of adjustment. I think that this would have to happen after a hard reset for everybody. There would have to be a hard reset, and everybody would have to play from whatever level of MMR with some placement games or something like that. But I think it has to happen. I think console or controller players, or players who aren't on keyboard and mouse, I probably have the most to complain about here. They maybe don't want to compete against players who have an advantage based on input method. But I think a way to sort of assuage that concern would be to keep leaderboards separate, at least optionally. Allow yourself to see where you rank among your input method, as well as able to see where you rank among everybody. I think that would be a really nice way to keep the, you know, to allow you to say, you know, I'm console, maybe I'm plat 3 in overall ranked, but I'm diamond 2 in just console, just controller input method, whatever. I just think that more players means better games for everybody. And I think that's good. I think there's this, like, you know, I think there's a superiority complex more than anything for PC players. They're like, I don't want to play with console players. They are bad. They're trash. So they won't be in your games if they're worse than you. That's how matchmaking works. Their elo will be lower. Their MMR will be lower, whatever you want to call it, if they are worse than you. If you're in games with them and they're around your MMR, they're probably not worse than you. You're probably just have an inflated ego. For the leaderboards thing, I'm also like a big fan of like more granular leaderboards and having more of a chance to sort of compete against other people at your level. I think Trackmania does it really well, where they like show you your rank in like different sizes of geographic regions. So they'll show you it in like say they show you it in your city, so that you'll be like, oh, you're top 20 in your city. And then as you get up to like top 10 in your city, they switch it and they show you in your like region, so your state or your whatever, province, whatever you want to call it, region. And then you get up to like top 10 in that, and they're like, okay, now we're going to show you you're in your country, and then we're going to show you like worldwide. I think that's a super cool way to do things like that. I love more granular leaderboards, and I think it's a great way to encourage competitiveness and to give people sort of that serotonin of improvement. But unfortunately, our leaderboards are shit, and they don't work. They're fucking terrible. Leaderboards are dog ass in Smite. They have been for fucking years. God leaderboards don't work. The overall leaderboards are barely functional. At least they're, you know, back to kind of working now. You can sort of see where you are, but like if you're not in the top 100, you can't for any rank, right? I don't know. They're a mess. I think they probably need a little bit of an overhaul. I also think that before we do crossplay, I should have probably said this a bit ago, I think before we do crossplay, there needs to be some quality improvements on console. At the moment, there's a lot of crashes and things like that. And that should be fixed before crossplay is implemented. That should be fixed anyway, because that's horrendous. And it seems to just kind of happen, which is not great. But yeah, I think the state of console, from what I'm reading Reddit, and fucking Reddit is god awful, so I don't know if I trust it, but it seems to be a general sentiment that like there's a lot of crashes in lobbies on PlayStation and Xbox. I think maybe it's mostly just PlayStation, but there seems to be a lot of sentiment that there's a lot of crashes in lobbies at the moment. Yeah, that's bad, and you don't want to introduce crossplay where you're going to get more crashes, more frustration. Maybe you could lower the queue times if there's more players, though. That could be cool. Okay. That was the small player base section. That was a long one, I think. Third, and hopefully the shortest, lack of engagement / reward is what I have written down. I have some notes for this. I'm not fully havering, really. Yeah, I think there should just be like rewards for top players, leaderboard rewards. You might have to limit it to EU and NA because of there's sort of a history of abuse of this, where people will like cheat for rewards in lower population regions and queues and just try and like go for rewards that way, which I think is just fucking Jesus, get a life. But anyway, maybe you'd have to limit it to EU and NA. Maybe you can just give rewards to people who cheat. Who really cares? Like, give them some gems. I think it's super simple to make that kind of thing happen. You know, you just fucking slam some gems on accounts. That's a thing that they can do. It adds intrigue to like regular ranked streams again, similar to removing the MMR cap. It gives people something to compete for, something to aim for. You can do it for multiple queues and things like that. So you could have like jewel rewards and joust rewards and conquest rewards. And I think that would just be good overall. Maybe even god leaderboard rewards if you make the god leaderboards work. Could be nice. Like give people like a special trim on their diamond skin, you know? I don't fucking know. But yeah, I just think more rewards would be nice and be a way to keep people more engaged. My fourth one, this isn't really like a clear problem in ranked for me, but it's something that I thought I would talk about because I've seen some cool ideas for it in other games, or specifically one other game has a cool solution for it. It's like no clear place for really high quality games. Well, I guess other games do too, right? So League of Legends has something called Champions Queue, which I believe is like set time when a queue is open. It's invited players are allowed to queue in. They jump in on dedicated lower ping servers and they play some matches with like, I think they jump on comms and things like that and they play together, which I think would be sick for Smite in a number of ways. The biggest thing you would need for this would be buy-in from pro players to encourage people to compete. Maybe you could even make it like, I don't know, it's difficult to say that you can ask the league to like make it a part of their responsibilities, but I think it would be good for pro players in a lot of ways. Really great for content creation. Selfishly, for someone like me, it would be great. It would give me content in periods like this where there's no SPL on. I could hop on, play or cast some Champions Queue games and have like a really good time with that. It could be good for the EU ranked scene if you got a lot of SCC and content creator buy-in for it. It could be good for pro players. Gives them better quality practice when they don't have scrims. It gives them the ability to scout players more easily and be more certain of players that could suit their team, and it gives more room for like emerging talent. You know, if you're emerging talent, you're fucking crushing it in ranked, you make it into the Champions Queue, you're performing there, you know, and then all of a sudden you've got an SPL spot, you know, without having to, I don't know, have a team take a huge risk on you without knowing how you are as a competitor and how you are to hang out with in comms during these Champions Queue games and things like that. I think it's such a great boon for everyone involved that this was a thing. I think, yeah, the difficulties here are like, could you make it happen? I think NA, it would be pretty easy to make happen. You just get the pro players involved, and if people are keen, it happens and it goes amazing, you know? I think that's as simple as it is. But EU, maybe it's a little bit more difficult, but I think it could, like, it has the potential, this kind of idea could revive like high level EU ranked. If you got people getting involved, if you had guys like Deathwalker and Johnny streaming it every week, you know, maybe you got people like Echrome buying in, you get maybe like Wolfie could come back. I would get involved. I would have a great time with it if they let me play. if Neath's having a really good patch, maybe I'll be allowed in. We'll see. But yeah, I think that could be fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. Have I talked enough? Have I talked about 14 minutes, apparently 15 minutes? This is something like, I don't know. Obviously, I know, like, I can't say too much, but I know there's maybe going to be some movement on some of this stuff from the Smite devs. I hope so. Anyway, we've had conversations about it in the past, but I just thought I'd outline what I think the problems are, what I think some good solutions are. I think that there's going to be a few of you in the chat who are like, fuck crossplay, I don't want it, I don't need it. It's good. It's good for the game. It's good for the game. You need to, like, we could try it, you know? Why not try it? We're never going back after we try it, but we'll just try it and we'll see how it goes, you know? Yeah, we're never going back. I want crossplay though. Yeah. Might be nice to play against players who can't type as easily as well, although I know some of them have like keyboards plugged in, right? It might make the overall quality higher if, like, you know that some people, like, they can't type to you, you can't type to them. Might improve a lot of people's ranked, might improve my ranked experience anyway. But yeah, that's that. I've spoken for too long about ranked, about the changes I think that would be good for the game. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything I really missed, and maybe I can reply to you. I do still read all my comments, I promise. Subscribe, hit the bell. I don't know, like, comment. Fucking tell your friends. Post it on TikTok. Get a picture of me on Be Real. I was thinking about getting into that Be Real. Seems like a good social media. No, there's no good social media. Anyway, fuck off. See you later. Bye.